In addition, we had an incident that took place last week with my campaign treasurer, and I just want to be completely transparent, as what I've stated all the time. I sleep well at night. I am clear that we follow the rules. We follow the rules. And I am angry if there are those in any way attempt to do anything that will go against our process of how we collect campaign dollars or the procedures that are in our city. But my campaign will follow the rules. We will continue to follow the rules. I have an excellent compliance attorney who has been carrying out his role throughout my entire campaign period, and we're going to continue to do so. And we're going to, as a former member of law enforcement, we're going to continue to comply with.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to come to you and talk to you about the growing probe that's happening with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Eric Adams has been in the news the past 6 months as he has dealt with the growing migration crisis in New York City. The U.S. has mostly opened their borders completely, and those crossing the border are reaching historic levels. New York City, as a result, has received upwards of 110,000 migrants into their city, while many major cities have about 700,000 to 500,000 to maybe to 1 million people overall. Having a tenth or 1/5 of your population imported on a 1-year basis is a very serious issue that many of the nation's cities are facing. Many of these cities also, prior to these past years, were categorized themselves as sanctuary cities that welcome migrants there. But many of them did not expect overall the influx of what is happening right now. The governor of Texas has kind of given many of the cities what is it that they've asked for. If you're going to be a migrant shelter or a sanctuary city, please go ahead and receive those that you send, offering busing for those who are going to places like D.C., places like New York City, and places like Chicago. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video here just about Eric Adams talking a bit about this. He has been probed by the FBI. His campaign fundraiser was the matter of an investigation, and he's retained a lawyer as well. So I'll go ahead and play this video. We'll watch a little bit of it, come back and talk about it afterwards.
Migrant problem. You have a situation where you said that the migrant problem is going to destroy the city. You have a situation where you have to come up with a 5% budget modification and cut agencies this very month. So do you think that it was a wise optic for you to have come home, given the fact that migrants are probably your number one problem?
Migrants are our number one concern in this city. I have made that clear. And what I am really pleased with is that we built that coalition. And that's why coalitions are important. In D.C., you had the mayor from Chicago, the mayor of Denver. We're hearing messages from the mayor, from the governor of Massachusetts, of Houston, Los Angeles. We're seeing a coalition that I talked about for quite some time. And because that coalition was in place, they were able to continue the meetings. I'm looking forward to continue to go to Washington and continue to lean on this issue that's impacting our city. As you
ahead, White House, migrants, something going on back here, and by the time you found out about it, the raid had already taken place.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I heard many people talk about coming back to the city at the time and how it impacted. What were the optics? You can't govern by optics. You got to govern by action. And if you govern by anytime someone going to perceive something and put a tint to it, then you're not going to make the right decisions when you need to make the right decisions. This issue of the migrant, it's not going away. I will be back in D.C. and I will address the issue that I've been able to put together this coalition about. And so people are going to interpret your actions in many different ways. You have to go with your good, authentic leadership style. And my leadership style has always been the same. And, sometimes it get good optics, sometimes it get bad optics. But I'm going to continue to be the leader that I've always been.
Hi, Mr. Mayor,
How are you,
I'm all the
Kelly?
way back here. To follow up on that question, how do you feel you're going to be able to juggle both the migrant crisis and this FBI raid that happened to Suggs? I also wanted to get details on your professional relationship.
All right, perfect. So after that, Mayor Adams then goes on to talk about the issue that with his fundraising campaign treasurer. Um, and he talks a little bit just about how hard work she is and things like that. We'll go ahead and play a video on that here, and then we can wrap up from there.
I never forget when Barack Obama ran for president and I was one of the 70 elected officials to endorse him. The only thing I asked of him, I stated that African Americans normally don't get to play on a national scale as fundraisers, as media, speechwriters, as, people of color just don't get those opportunities. And in the state Senate, Ingrid and I both saw how young college interns went on to become chief of staffs, become commissioners, and they were overwhelmingly not people of color. Black and brown folks just didn't get those opportunities. And so here I was able to identify a team to run my campaign, and one of them was the fundraiser. And I had a young, brilliant young lady who was an intern, hardworking, was willing to work as many hours as possible. And we saw an opportunity for her to open a pathway for her that I saw others get. And we brought on board, and I was pleasantly surprised. She outraised every other fundraiser that was in the race. She worked hard, she learned, and people who met her were really blown away by her professionalism and her skill. And I'm really proud of her. And I'm sure she's going to get through this because she followed the rules. She was very clear on what I stated. We must always follow the rules because we knew that our campaign will always be scrutinized. And so we wanted to make sure we were above reproach, and we're going to continue to do that.
All right. So with being the mayor of New York City, you are always going to be in the headlines. And Eric Adams right now finds himself in that position where anything, for the most part, he does, he is going to be kind of put on a pedestal and examined from all sides. One thing for sure is that he was one who did favor the coming in of people from the border, and now they're being faced with a serious crisis. Additionally, his Treasury Secretary is being investigated. There are many connections that are being said that he has with Turkey and different things of that nature. So we'll see exactly how this probe goes. He has retained counsel overall for his aspect for watching over and possible defending in litigation. This is going to be a very interesting time frame because Eric Adams has been very outspoken about how this is not a New York City issue or a Washington, D.C. or Chicago issue, but it is a national issue that should be addressed by the administration, the Biden administration. And some people are thinking that this is a bit of retaliation as a result of it, for the FBI to be digging in. That's not my particular view to speak on. But overall, I think for sure his outspokenness on the topic and the complete, neglect that has been shown at the border does reflect overall that there is a kind of a willingness to allow this to continue. So what does that mean in terms of allowing this, border crisis to continue? We could see, millions and millions of people crossing the border, and as more people get their papers to work, as more people are giving housing, that will encourage even more people to push to make that trip as well. There's a lot of talk that people are coming from different countries. You have people from Asian countries, people from the Middle East, all crossing that border. And many people are worried whether or not this is possible terrorist situations that are approaching right now as well. So we're going to see in the months and the years to come how exactly this plays out. New York City residents are standing up and they're protesting in great numbers as they are not happy at all with their resources, and it's a sense of inflation. You're paying higher taxes, and you're also receiving less because there's more people to have the resources divided among. So what are your thoughts on this? Please comment below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.